I'm live, yay! Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Normally, I'm from Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, but today, excuse me, I'm not sick. Just had a cough. When you go live, though, you have to be careful. But today, I am here on behalf of my own channel, Stacey Storino. Yay! Let me have a little bit of tea there. So definitely introduce yourselves. All right. So I expect that a lot of my students are going to be coming on because I just posted in the groups, but I am here to assist you if you're an entrepreneur mom or quite frankly, an entrepreneur parent, and you're like, you have a bunch of questions, whether it has anything to do with just trying to deal with whatever kind of work-life balance you think you could get as an entrepreneur parent. A lot of us are working from home more when in some cases we weren't planning on it. So I definitely have years of experience working from home and balancing the house, spouse, kid, worship, pets, plants of it all. And then, oh yeah, I got to run my business too and somehow make it profitable. I also can answer questions that you might have today about, short form content marketing, because that's becoming like a hotter thing. We've got folks that are doing, we've got folks that are doing, TikTok. We have folks that are doing Instagram Reels because that's been around, at least in the US, for a couple weeks now. We also have people who are, like, wow, YouTube's coming out with its own version of this stuff called Shorts. Of course it is. Short form content is definitely becoming more and more popular. And I do want to talk about that because it's so cutting edge, bleeding edge. I think a lot of entrepreneur parents that do want to, get a leg up and actually be seen. Maybe you've tried content marketing before and you're like, I'm barely getting any reach. There's a whole bunch of reasons why that might be the case too. But one of which is there's like a bajillion people competing for attention. But when you're doing something that's on the cutting edge, bleeding edge of things, quite frankly, you might get an extra algorithmic push. The algorithms want to reward people who are using new or relatively new features, options, all sorts of stuff, no matter what platform it's on. A lot of the algorithms behave very similarly when you're looking at it from a 30,000-foot panoramic view. You're taking that view, they'll work the same way. So really quickly, welcome to Stacey Storino Live, the number one place on the internet to learn about content marketing via social media as an entrepreneur, mom, or an entrepreneur parent. While you're also networking with other entrepreneur parents down in the chat below, hashtag live, hashtag replay. I'm definitely going to make the replay available to anybody who wasn't able to make any or all of the live now. We're all on very different schedules, depending upon where you are seeing this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us live or on the replay. I really appreciate it. You have hashtag live, hashtag replay down below. That really helps me out. Give me a thumbs up because that super helps me out. YouTube likes to see that. Also, if there's anybody in terms of even just a straight up entrepreneur who's not a parent that you think could benefit, who might have a bunch of questions for me to answer for free, hey, go ahead, share this out. Share it out live or on the replay, because even on the replay, I'll check my comments, definitely within a certain window of time. Ooh, Transformational Healing by Donna's here. Hey, Donna, hashtag live. Morning. Music Chick Art is here. Good morning. Andrew George is here. Hi, everyone. Hashtag live. Thank you for the hashtag live, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs up. All right. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification and select all, because if you don't, it's very likely that given how this platform's notification systems work, you're not likely going to get any news about my lives, my replays, or my videos. If I'm not doing a live, I tend to publish a video daily to near daily. So there's a lot of good information here. It is organized by playlist. So if you're a playlist person, boom, you've got playlists. You don't want to have to sort through all the content on the channel. That's fine. You have stuff about Instagram, also a separate playlist that's about Instagram Reels more specifically. There's also another playlist about TikTok. And then we have a variety of playlists that speak directly to entrepreneur parents who are just trying to balance work and life and trying to do things more effectively. So, because some people are like, what about the 30,000 foot view stuff? And then I'll get to like the content marketing stuff, because I have to be able to open up the space in my life to run my business. Or if I've done that, I still probably need to open up a little bit more space in my life so that I can do the content, planning, content creation, content optimization, content proper publication, and also content syndication. Those are what I call the 5 rings. You have to have all those 5 rings mastered, or it's very difficult to content market successfully. So I definitely can take all sorts of questions about that stuff too. So let's see. For my students who are here, I know some of you are marketing with the short form content, in some cases, both on TikTok and on Instagram Reels. Give me an update about where you guys are. I'd love to hear that. All right. So make sure while this is live, you've got a really good chance of getting your questions answered. So if you have any questions for me, you can put that down in the chat now. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention we have a 96-hour sale going on for one of my courses. This is Get the Sale Before It's Over. I know some of my students have this already. Funnel. Just a second. Fairy Godmother Charm for $37 sale here. We like to introduce a new mini course that I do. I tend to do a mini course once a month. If you don't get it on sale, it goes to $97, which still a lot of people are like, that's still affordable. And speak to your tax preparer, who I am not. Depending upon where you are in the world and your situation, you might be able to write this off against income. Lots of folks in the United States can. So, $37 though for something that's $97. And those courses are several hours of content. So it's a deal and a steal like that. And then it does come with a corresponding Facebook group that, I could be live streaming in. I'm definitely trying to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in there. If anybody has any course specific questions. So my goodness, to get that course at $37 is a deal. What are we talking about with Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm really quick? And if you've got any questions, definitely put that down in the chat while I'm doing my little shtick. This is a course that focuses on relationship marketing through parasocial relationships that you build for business purposes online. So that can include your social media accounts. That can include forums that you're chatting in. It can include accounts that you are an owner of. It's your Facebook page or your Facebook group, for example, or it could be somebody else's. And as long as you're following the rules for the group, you're fine. So relationship marketing, which can involve network marketing, but not necessarily. It can also be engagement marketing and engagement interactions that do tend to lead people from browser to buyer, right? So it makes somebody more likely to, if you're engaging with them, right? And you're building up that parasocial relationship properly, assertively, not aggressively. A lot of women especially get really paranoid and say, well, I would like to do that, but I'm afraid that I'm going to come across as aggressive. So this price for this course for a teeny tiny price will teach you how to do things assertively and politely in a professional way versus doing something aggressively and being all spooky. Okay, so I've got some questions here. Transformational Healing by Donna. I posted a Reels last night and I hit 500 views in less than an hour. You go, girl. Thinking that bots hit it with views. 12 hours later, it's at 558. Does that happen? In terms of what? Is it? Clarify, Donna. I'll start answering it, but just in case you're like, no, Stacey, you're going a totally wrong direction, which could be possible. I don't listen. Bots can hit anything on any platform with pretty much any major feature, right? So on Instagram, since this is a Reels question, Instagram has a couple of different features, main features or main sectors, as I call them, under the umbrella that is the overall app that is Instagram. It's no longer just a photo sharing app like it was years ago, because you have like the feed posts of Instagram where it's certainly more than photos. It could be video snippets. It could be, GIFs and all that sort of stuff. You also have the IGTV sector, right? So bots can hit both of those. You have Instagram stories. I don't know that that's so much besieged by bots, because stories are basically for your followers. You could have bot followers, but I don't have much experience with anybody like for the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill Instagram account that I helped to work. I don't think we've ever seen anything creepy or body there. But then again, it's usually your human followers that would want to go into Instagram stories. And then Reels is like the new sector that's contained under the hood for Instagram. So do I think that, it could be exposed to bots? Maybe. But Donna, what I think is more likely the case for you is that Reels is still such, even just a couple weeks in, it's such still the wild, wild west. It probably will be for several weeks more, where there may be a ton of consumers, but there aren't a ton of contributors. And especially the more niche down you get in terms of your business, your approach, and your content, and especially if you're optimizing it, well, with the up to 30 hashtags that you get, then you are likely going to be able to cover 30 different bases that still probably doesn't have a lot of content for people to consume on it. So that's why I would say I can't rule out bots, but I highly doubt it, because lots of people are getting like redonkulous reach, posting very simple reels. And I would rather, especially if you're an entrepreneur or parent, but even if you're not, I would rather you not go crazy with high production value for up to 15 seconds of content. First of all, again, it's the Wild West. That is so overkill. And second of all, high production content doesn't tend to be successful on TikTok. And that has been short form content for years, even when it was Musical.ly. You really only get up to 60 seconds on TikTok. But no matter whether it's up to 15 seconds or you toggle the option on TikTok to open up to get to 60 seconds or a minute, I really don't think it matters. I think the high production value on TikTok, big brands are finding crazy production values don't give them much in the way of conversions. There's stuff that seems more rough hewn and organic tends to outperform that. So I think there's several reasons for that. And I'm definitely going to get into that, but let me make sure that I've addressed yours and everybody else's questions. Music, chick art. Should the content on Reels, Instagram stories, and feed be different? Right now, I would say no. It is such the Wild West. I would think that for the next couple weeks, at least, you'd be safe repurposing short form content. And here's a point that I made on last week's live, but music, chick art, I don't remember that you were there. So let me say this. You would be able to, when you go to create a Reels and you get to that last page where you write the caption and all that, right? And don't forget, guys, you get 2,200 characters in a caption for Reels. That does have to include your 30 hashtags, but still that's way more generous than TikTok or any place else right now, especially when it comes to short form content like this. So when you've done up your caption, you've included your hashtags, and you have that big blue button towards the bottom of the screen that if you clicked it, you would publish your Reels. There is an option that is pre-toggled. Leave it, in my opinion, for right now, leave it. And if you were to just hit that big blue button, you would not only publish to the Reels sector of your Instagram account. So, I'll have to show some people. Let me go here. So on one's profile, right above the feed post, you have the little icons, right? So if you've done even one IGTV, the IGTV icon would appear. Until you do, there won't be the IGTV icon, but it'll automatically appear, right? So if you toggle this, it's going to take you to your IGTV videos, right? Once you publish your first Reel, you actually get a Reel section or sector of your profile. So all your Reels will go there, right? So you can get two for the price of one, though, because if you leave that button pre-toggled, you will get the reels published to the reels sector of your account. You will also get a feed post automatically about it. And again, it's 2,200, characters in there with all 30 hashtags. That's really great. So you get a highly effective feed post plus a highly effective reels. But there's one more place that you can publish to. You can sweep to one side, and just like if you were creating a piece of content for your for your Instagram story, you could swipe and boom, you can publish it to your Instagram story. I highly recommend, at least for the next several weeks, choose all three options. You get 3 published pieces of content for the price of 1. Can you reuse it as an IGTV video? No, because it's too short. But man, you're covering 3 sectors out of say 4 for you, right? That's awesome. And Instagram's doing that because it so wants to beat up TikTok. It's going to give you the bigger caption. It's going to allow you more hashtags than you could ever have on TikTok. It's going to allow you this 3-for-1 deal, right? Because it wants you to cover all these bases and get the dopamine hit of getting all these successes, right? Plus all the crazy extra bonus algorithm reach you're going to get for at least the Reels content itself, and even your feed post is probably going to get a boost because it's Reels related. Instagram wants to get the word out there, right? So a lot of you are not trying to just be influencers. You're not just trying to create content for kids. You're trying to sell to full-blown adults. There's still going to be a couple of weeks before a lot of adults come to the table on Reels. A lot have, but a lot more haven't yet. So they're not going to be competing as contributors of content with you if they happen to be a competitor of yours. And, they're going to want to watch more and more. So I definitely think for the next few weeks, you are going to get that Wild West, gold rush syndrome. And poof, you're going to get extra reach that you would think is from bots, but it's really not. I don't think that it is. Transformational Healing by Donna. It had 2 of those spam comments on it that I get often, but to get to 512 in 45 minutes, but then 12 hours later, it's at 558. I think those spammers hit it. It was not optimized. Still, Instagram's not, the algorithm isn't stupid. Okay, so the algorithm tends to see no matter what sector you're publishing content to, no matter how many or how few or no hashtags that you use, these algorithms are frighteningly smart. They tend to operate, especially for more mature platforms like Instagram, they tend to operate at the IQ, at the intellectual processing level of a fifth grader. So it can look at your content, it can suss out what it's about, and it can try to serve you out to people who are not only your followers, that's kind of an obvious deal, but also to people who are whose behaviors and content creation and or consumption pattern roughly matches what you're doing or what your followers are doing and or consuming. So the algorithm's going to desperately try, especially with Reels, because they want Reels to be so successful, it's going to be out there trying to do matchmaking for you. Now imagine how much better you would have done if you used any hashtags, let alone all 30 hashtags. So this isn't just, it's not going to go out to just your followers, typically like Instagram story content is. Does that make sense, Donna? So what it's doing is, just like TikTok will keep serving out your content not only to your current followers, but to people who kind of should be followers to see if they take to it too. All the algorithms have the same goal. It's to keep people on the platform, no matter what. That's the goal. So, TikTok has been really brilliant, and I'm sure the folks at Instagram have been studying the algorithm and how it works. It's been really brilliant with its matchmaking. It will do it in phases. It'll serve out a tray of people, your videos, and then they'll see what takes. How many of it is just followers versus how many of it are people who should be. And then it's oh, okay. And if there's enough engagement with it, no matter how it's optimized or not optimized, then it'll shovel it out to the next tray of people. TikTok will continue to do that until it hits a fatigue point. So it does do an aggressive amount of matchmaking. Do I think Instagram basically knocked off TikTok? Yup. Do I think that that includes, how the algorithm behaves and its tray by tray, attempts at matchmaking? Yup. I definitely do. So I think you're the beneficiary for it. Donna says, I made half those 30 hashtags up sitting on the couch and didn't look at them at all. Well, again, you're not going to get that, level of fall out of bed and your success rates past, I'd say, another month or so from now. You're going to see it change for two reasons. Number one, they're going to be sunsetting all of that bonus reach. I mean, I don't work at Instagram, but at some point they all do. So I don't have the official word on the mount, how many days or weeks it's going to be. But with all features over the last, say, 5 years, there's always been a sunsetting of extra bonus reach because they've gotten a lot of people to come to the table to use the feature as a consumer, to create content. Now they have it stocked with plenty of content, so they don't have to go totally hog wild crazy with it anymore. They're probably, got another feature out somewhere along the line that they want to push that bonus algorithmic reach to. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know down in the comments below if it makes sense. So certainly you do need to become savvy about hashtags, or savvier about hashtags, because you're going to get more people becoming creators of Reels content as Reels continues. Word about it kind of spreads and more people are using it. And then, of course, we'll see what, if any, ban happens on TikTok in America. Hey, guys, if you have not hit that like button, make sure you smash that like button. That helps me out a lot. I can continue to do these. I definitely want to see some likes. If you've not subscribed, make sure that you do that. And for anybody who's coming in on the stream around now, don't be shy. Ask your questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to social media marketing, content creation, content planning, content optimization, like hashtags. You're optimizing your posts, content proper publication, and content syndication. If you guys don't know about content syndication, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll definitely cover that more too. So here's the thing, if you're not using TikTok and because you don't want to, fine. Instagram Reels is basically TikTok Junior. It's just as easy to learn. It doesn't have a million features, which makes it easier. There's less of a learning curve for you to struggle with. And the older you are, the more you don't want that learning curve. It is so simple, and you're only creating 15 seconds of content. If you are older, like I'm older, you remember radio before you had for pay radio, like Sirius XM and stuff. And you would have minute spots on the radio for local businesses and stuff, but you would see a lot of 15-second spots too. They're still on more traditional radio stations now, and for pay. But you know what? They're 15 seconds and they're still using them because 15 seconds might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot of time to get a message out across. Of course, you have to be very cinched in and tight with your messaging. For 15 seconds, I think you get 40 words, 30 to 40 words, and you're done. And of course, if it's 30 versus 40, it depends on how fast you can clearly say what you're saying and deliver whatever 15-second spot you need to deliver. But radio stations were very popular for this. So, and they're still using it because it still works. So don't be like, oh, I don't get the minute that I could get on TikTok if you're used to that platform and you're comparing and contrasting. Do I think at some point they'll circle back and have that feature unlocked for people on Instagram Reels? I do. I don't think there's a specific reason why they would let you just have 15 seconds versus 60 or up to 60 on TikTok. I think that they were rolling it out at Instagram Reels very relaxed and all cash, in France and Brazil and Germany. And then they got a surprise when, India did a countrywide ban. They didn't just ban TikTok, by the way. They banned 58 different apps. TikTok was just one of them for security issues or security fears, because I've seen no evidence come out that like TikTok specifically got caught hand in the cookie jar spying or doing inappropriate things with anybody's intel. Because Lord in heaven knows that if that actually happened and any country had intel on that, it would be all over the news. The news outlets would not pass up the opportunity to wax rhapsodic about it. That's what the news is there to do, to inform us and to warn us where necessary, right? So I still feel like if nobody's said anything all this time, it's just like potential concerns, things they'd like to see them do a little bit better. But I don't think there's any hard evidence out there that TikTok is bad, bad, bad. But if you don't want to use it and you're like short form content is really hot right now, Instagram Reels is your solution, right? So let me see. I've got some more stuff. Make sure that you smash that like button. It really helps me out. I see a bunch of people came on. Ooh, please, please, please. That helps me out. Ask your questions. It's why I do this Friday Q&A session starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I'll make the replay available too. # live, # replay. So I know when you kind of parachuted in here. Let's see. Okay, so Transformational Healing by Donna says, I'm excited for Charge Binge Day after lives. Oh, I know. That course is really a bite-sized price for like $37. You get hours of training. You get your own specific course-specific Facebook group that goes with it. And you also learn about how to do relationship marketing and build up business-related parasocial relationships that are beneficial to both sides socially and personally, but also professionally, where you can get people who would be amenable to your products and or services and what you have to offer, and get them to be members of your community and move them along the spectrum, one parasocial relationship at a time, from browser to buyer. So I know that this is stuff that I've been coaching since 2013, 14, part-time, and then 15 onward full-time. And I know that it works no matter what the platform. Okay. So wherever your niche is hanging out, you can do something with some platform specific tweaks that really work well. So thank you for that, Donna. Music, chick, art, content syndication. What is that? How many people know what content syndication is? Let me know down below. Say, yes, I know, or no, I don't. Just really curious, and quick sip, and then I'll give you the answer. Thank you kindly. When you're live, sometimes you get parched, so I appreciate your patience. All right. Well, I will say this. Yes, Donna knows what it is. Donna's been in business for quite some time, so I appreciate that. Content syndication is part of like the overall plan. Andrew George says yes. Andrew's really been rocking it when it comes to his business, so I really appreciate that answer too. So when you are doing content marketing, it almost doesn't matter for purposes of this part of the conversation what platform or platforms it's on. And I always say to pick 2 platforms. Don't try to do everything all at once. You'll definitely get burned out. I don't care how many auto posters you leverage. That'll help, but you'll still probably burn out. I want you to pick the 2 platforms that your niche research tells you your niche is on the most throughout a day. For many of you, it's Facebook and Instagram, but that's not everybody. And what's really cool is like people tend to spend about up to 53 minutes on Facebook a day, and then a separate up to 53 minutes on Instagram a day. People definitely do a lot of buying because of both apps. Instagram, you could really yes, you get a lot of millennials there, but it's a lot of millennials with a lot of expendable cash there who it tends to attract. And they love content from businesses on Instagram. They really, really do. And they're super eager to be sold to there as well. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, for how many subs that we have, we do hundreds to $1,000 or more a week just through the DMs or the direct messages on Instagram. Every single week, in season or not in season, do or die situation, our people are just so super attracted to our content that a lot of times they'll reach out to us, right? Or if I do some of the stuff that I talk about in the Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm course, linked down below, $37 for just a couple of days, and it goes to $97 after that. I teach you about how to create these parasocial relationships where they're basically selling themselves. You do not have to be aggressive. This is not network marketing gone wrong or anything like that. Because I know some people are like, oh, I feel weird about it. Don't. If you love what you do or you love who you do it for or both, then you know what? You're helping people. And they're going to see that a lot of times before you even have to say anything. If you set things up the way I teach you to do in the Funnel Fairy Godmother Charge course. Binge days are my favorite, says Andrew George. Thank you. Donna says mine too. Thanks a lot, guys. I know you're going to enjoy that course. Now, to get back to Music Chick Art. Yes. Okay. So when I talk about content syndication, I don't want you guys to just spray content on the top 2 platforms for your niche. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I find that to be troublesome because what if they shut the platform down? Meerkat was around for a hot minute. It went gone. Vine had a lot of Viners on there that were getting product deals, and they were influencers, and Vine was where it was at, and they were doing so well, so hard, so fast, and they were getting brand deals and stuff. And then Twitter bought it, which was one thing, and then they just shut it down and never put up a Vine 2.0 or anything. And all those Viners were out of a platform. And how do you get your audience back if you had little to no presence anywhere else? So even if you're new to content marketing and new to business or both, and you're like, oh, I would have a hard time just with one, I say spread your risk. Don't put all your eggs in one basket when you do your content marketing. Do it between 2. And if you're Facebook and Instagram for that, because that's what your niche research says, you can do a lot of easy posting to both through the Creator Studio, which is a great feature that they unleashed, 2 years ago? And it's really very helpful. And all your messages for Facebook and your DMs on Instagram can all be put in one place. I know for a lot of people, any way that they could make things more frictionless, it's a lot better for them in terms of their bandwidth, especially as entrepreneur parents. So if you've not really used or mastered the use of Creator Studio, especially if Facebook and Instagram are the top 2 platforms for your niche, which odds are they are, Creator Studio can be a huge time saver for you, especially if you're putting up IGTV videos. There's no other way I'd rather do it. No other way I'd rather do it. So easy. So let's get back to content syndication. So the 5 rings that I feel you have to master for proper content marketing on any platform really is platform planning, proper content planning, proper content creation, proper content optimization, proper content publication, and proper content syndication. So since we had a question about syndication, let's deal with the 5th ring here. So when you've created a piece of content and you have published it, like say a YouTube video, and you put it up on YouTube and you optimize the heck out of it with a great keyword rich title, and you made sure it was something you could rank for, you have your description written out, you got a nice thumbnail, you've done your tags, right? You've done all the voodoo in the back panel of your Creator Studio for that video. And so you do the best optimization that you can do for your particular YouTube video, and you publish it. And you go, I'm done. No, because you didn't engage in content syndication. So think about it in terms of radio or TV. You could have a show that might be originally broadcast to the first main receiver, and then it's syndicated out to other channels, right? Other radio channels, a program might be syndicated on, other, TV channels and things like that. So that's a quick, especially if you're 40 and older and you're like, what is content syndication? That's a great parallel for it. So going back to the YouTube video example, I would never just publish a YouTube video and be like, well, I optimized the heck out of that. I'm done. It'll rank for search, and maybe it will. And if you've done a really good job, maybe it really will. But you left all those additional views, subscribes, and stuff on the table by not properly syndicating it. Ooh, Margaret Panker, I want to say hi. Catherine Maldonado, hey, everyone. Hi, Miss Catherine. How you doing? You guys do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up on this. It will really help me out, right? I'm telling you, and definitely feel free to share either the live or the replay, because I'm planning on doing this every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's totally free. Your friends who are even thinking about being entrepreneurs, or they're complaining, I have products and or services and I can't get them sold. They're either not doing content marketing at all or much. They're not doing it right. And, they need help with the 5 rings: content planning, creation, optimization, publication, and syndication. So with syndication, after I'd published my YouTube video, I need to share it out to other channels. So this is, again, me talking about not putting all your eggs in one basket, and at least having 2 where you're going to publish the content to. But in this case, this isn't even publishing the piece of content like I've already done it on YouTube in this example. Let me immediately go and put that native video up on Facebook. I wouldn't do that, because you do want to get a lot of watch time on YouTube, because the more eyeballs that are on your video, the higher it's going to rank over time. So I would definitely reuse and republish that piece of native video that became, your published YouTube video. That falls under proper publication in this example. But I would wait a week before uploading it to Facebook fresh, as like its own fresh piece of content. Then you're reusing it, and especially as an entrepreneur parent, that does save you time. You're getting a lot of bang for the native video content buck. But when I'm talking about syndication, what I mean is that I published my video to YouTube in this example, but I want to drive additional traffic to that YouTube video on the platform of YouTube from any other platform that I can. So I'm going to broadcast that video exists on Facebook, on a Facebook page that I might have that's named for my business, in a Facebook group that I have, because there's different options for groups versus pages. And you will usually typically get better reach than in a group than on a page. However, go look at the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill Facebook group. We're coming up on 11,000 followers, and the reach for any of our posts, from static image posts to videos to lives that are then replays, we can get thousands like it's nothing. And we pay nothing to boost anything, and we barely ever run ads. Around the big holidays, we'll run ads to sell cakes around like Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And all the bonus reach that our ads get on Facebook, by the way, because you get the paid reach. And if there's a lot of engagement, I bet you didn't know this, if there's a lot of engagement on Facebook page or group with your brand, they will give you bonus reach. It's kind of like a reward for job well done. And then, of course, they're hoping you get all addicted and you run ads all the time. You don't have to. This isn't fake guru time. You can look up Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on Facebook, on Instagram, etc. On TikTok, what are we up to on TikTok? It's got to be over 150,000 for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on TikTok. Go ahead, look at everything from the outside looking in. I either create the content and or I make sure that it's published properly. We talk about planning it. We make sure that it's properly optimized, and we make sure that it's syndicated where applicable well. So look, syndication is really just making sure that, depending upon the content and how we're talking about it being created, you make sure the word gets out. If you can't play it everywhere, because that's kind of syndication the old-fashioned way, you're syndicating out word to drive people to watch your YouTube video. Because unfortunately, like Facebook, yes, you can upload the native video a week later because you got all the initial burst of excitement juice that you're going to get on YouTube. And you can still, that's the second largest search engine on planet Earth. You can still be found in search if you optimized right forevermore. You can get views while you snooze, as they say. And especially if you're a products or a services-based business, this is video advertising and this is video marketing for you. So, YouTube makes a lot of sense for, business owners. Like I know a lot of my students are. So that's kind of syndication, like the way I look at it. If you create a piece of content that's unique to that platform, if you can't share it out, through like a piece of software. Like you do a live stream and you might be able to, if you use like Be Live or something like that, you can be able to transmit out the same live to multiple different platforms and channels. But in lieu of that, you can definitely, like in the YouTube example, you could publish a YouTube video and then like drive traffic to that YouTube video by getting the word out or syndicating word out to drive the traffic to that video so that it can really do well, especially within the first 24 hours. Quite frankly, the first hour to 2 hours is a really critical period of time for the YouTube algorithm, but it loves to see what you do the first day. And you can even see like bump ups if after that first day, there's still like enough interaction and interest with your content. You could see a piece of evergreen content rise after 28 days or longer. There's so many benefits of marketing on YouTube, but that's not specifically what we're talking about today. Ooh, let me see. So Andrew George says the Vine founders have started Byte, which is pretty similar, but you can't put a link in your bio. Saved my business name just in case it gets any traction, but I don't think it will be able to compete. That's a great observation, Andrew, and I'm glad that you brought that up. First of all, very wise of you to do. And let me explain, second of all, why that's wise for everyone to do. Whenever there's like a new platform that comes out, it's usually a best practice for you to jump on, and it's usually free, so it costs you nothing but a few minutes to just claim the name of your business. And you might want to claim your own personal name as well. Even if your business is not eponymous or self-named, I would still do that. So someone else can't get it for a couple reasons. Number one, that platform might rise to prominence and you'll be glad you did the land grab or the digital land grab there and you don't lose out, right? And then you have to come up with like some sort of like, alternate name. And then like, that can be hard depending upon the name of your business or how many people even claimed a bunch of alternatives. So it's good to do the digital land grab when you hear about a new platform. That's always a best practice to protect your brand integrity, because also someone who is a competitor or maybe a disgruntled customer, this is the very worst case scenario, but it's possible, they could create an account and then totally rip you apart on there. So you don't want to make that easy for someone to do, but usually it's some other business owner that may know nothing about you, but they have the same or similar brand name, or they're thinking of starting a business with that name, and then they take it and you can't have it. And that can lead to, in the law, what's called brand confusion. It can be a mess. So it's really good just to claim, like at least two handles or profile names or account names on there. Like I said, your own name, you may as well, and then your business name if it's not an eponymous business or a self-named business. Daniela Waterhawk, good morning. First time watching your live chat. Thank you. Thank you for coming, Daniela. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do and click that bell notification and select all, because if you don't, sadly, the other two versions don't tend to work very well. You won't get notifications at all. YouTube, by the way, is discontinuing the feature where they email everybody who has subscribed to your channel about your next video coming up, because people were like, I'd rather just get the notification than have everything pile up in my email box. It's really important that you guys click the bell notification, even if you subscribe to me, but you didn't do that. Plus, please, I see 3 likes. Can't we get those likes to come up? Hit that like button, please, especially if you find anything that I'm saying useful. It's like tipping me money, because YouTube goes, ooh, there's more engagement with that video. There's more data points to surface, so I might get ranked a little higher. Daniela, do you have any questions for me? Metals and Pieces. Good morning, Miss Stacey. Teddy says hi and hashtag live. Hi, Teddy. What's going on? Metals and Pieces. How's your latest promotion going? You're such a superstar. I'm so proud of you. Transformational Healing by Donna says, good morning, Daniela. Bridget Upcycle Lawson says, morning, I forgot you were live here. Yeah, I'm going to go on live at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time each Friday. That's kind of the goal, so that anybody who's subscribed to me but isn't a paying student of mine gets a chance to chat, Q&A, see what they want to see. And certainly they can bring their friends, and you guys can too. So Bridget, based upon conversations we've had in the past, you might want to spread around the news, spread around my link, and let people in your neighborhood know especially the local businesses, that, they can come on and ask me a whole bunch of questions 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on my YouTube channel. So there I can help them. Daniela Waterhawk, she said, ooh, I have subscribed and took advantage of purchasing your divination marketing package. Thanks to Donna. Well, thank you, Miss Donna. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the divination, the link to my divination course is down there. That's a teaser course. That's $9.95 for a limited time. We're going to yank it, but then like the craziness of 2020 happened. We were just going to mark that up to $97. We planned a 4-week, promo for that. Just because the Funnel Fairy Godmother brand was new. I have my Socialgram shortcut course. The link to that's down below. That's Instagram marketing for products-based businesses and services-based businesses too. It's not influencer marketing per se, because so many more adults are like, the influencer marketing brand model is really good, but I've got products and or services that I sell, so I'm doing fine with that. How do I use Instagram to really get paid conversions on that platform without necessarily selling through an Instagram shop? I don't like that because the fees, and I don't like that because you're not allowed to keep like the email contact information or anything like that. Whatever you do have access for, that by law is only supposed to be for the transaction itself. Once the transaction's completed, that's it. You can't say, oh, well, that's my email list, or like add them onto the email list automatically. So I like to be able to get all 3 of my business conversions. Like for my family business, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we get people to subscribe, or in the platform parlance there is to follow our Instagram account, get on our email list so we can market to them at least once a week, if not more. Highly effective. And then 3, to get that sale. We're all about the sales. If we're not profitable, it's a going out of business plan. So it doesn't have to be all mercenarial, but you do got to make a profit. Daniela says, you helped me get over the intimidation factor of social media. Thank you. And Transformational Healing by Donna says, yay. Yeah, absolutely. The older we are, the less the older we are, the less natively intuitive this stuff is to us, right? We may not be using social media very much for social purposes, let alone for, business purposes. And there is a difference. And depending upon the terms of service, there may be nuances you have to observe. But if you get a business account, that solves a lot of problems for you. If you've got a personal account or profile, depending upon the platform parlance, turning it into a business account is free for all the social media accounts, really. It definitely will give you access to a bunch of analytics that you didn't have before either. Analytics are important when it comes to content planning, because when you see when your ideal audience, especially your current, like say followers or subscribers, when you see when they're on the platform, whether they're engaging with your content or not, you go, hey, now I have a better idea about when my content publication should go down. And this helps me in terms of content planning. So remember the 5 rings, right? Content planning, creation, optimization, publication, and syndication, right? So you want to make sure that you have access to business analytics, because it's going to help you with a lot of those things. You can plan out your content. You can plan out when it's going to publish, because then more likely than not only will your followers see this stuff pop up in their feed, but other people who are, very similarly situated to your current followers, depending upon the platform, they are going to use the algorithm to do some matchmaking so that they, will follow or subscribe to your account too. Are they doing it just to be nice? Of course not. The whole goal is to keep people on the platform as long as possible, because 1, then that platform won't become culturally irrelevant, RIP MySpace. But number 2, they can serve more people ads more often. If it's an adult account, they're going to get like a bunch of ads at some point, right? Increasingly over time too. So its goal is to make you successful, so it's successful. It is a win-win, and there's nothing really shady about it. They got to make money or they can't keep the platform up, right? Daniela Waterhawk says, it's juggling creating my art products, office management, booking agent, and salesperson. Was too many hats to wear. Working it out now, you're the marketing department. Yeah. So it is a lot of hats to wear, whether you're a parent or not doing this for sure. Because a lot of stuff's going to step up into any vacuum that you clear. This is why everybody's not making a bajillion dollars. You know, if success was easy, everyone would do it. But sometimes it's understanding the 30,000 foot view. And I do have plenty of videos on this channel, Daniela, and playlists, if you're a playlist person, that will walk you through conceptual stuff, will walk you through tip-based stuff, that even if you're not like a parent, like the Dream Team video that I have, and then the Power Hour videos and like the planning videos that I have, those are probably going to be right up your alley to consume, because, you know, that's going to help you to run more efficiently and efficaciously with what you haven't delegated away yet. You may end up delegating away more, and that may be something that you need to do. But, you know, it's definitely going to be, let me see. Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be important for you to do the content marketing, because as I like to say, you have to drive traffic to your business to do business. Either at all, like if you've been playing to crickets, and I'm not just saying like, I'm not necessarily meaning Daniela, I mean anybody watching this live or on the replay. If you feel like I'm posting content, but I get precious little, if any, engagement, no one's really following or subscribing to me or whatever, what am I doing wrong? Somewhere in the 5 rings, there's a mess up, and it could be on multiple, or God help you, even all levels, but we get better at doing the thing by doing the thing. Maybe the content planning isn't there, right? And stuff just gets lost in the translation, or you're not publishing persistently and consistently enough for the humans to even remember that you exist, that follow you in the first place, right? Or the algorithm's going to be like, they barely ever publish. So unless something is like going to hit the digital lotto, I'm not going to help it. I'm not going to match make for it, depending on the platform at all or much. So planning's important, right? And then the creation process, of course, is important. Optimization, even on platforms that do aggressive matchmaking like TikTok or Instagram Reels and stuff, the Instagram Reels portion of Instagram, you still have to help it along. So some big creators on any platform will do little to no optimization. It could very well be, and you're like, well, how are they successful? Could very well be that they're so big that like they're practically their own planets with their own gravitational pull. That's not most people on that platform. Most people do have to optimize properly to either be seen at all or to be seen by the right people. For you guys who are in business, it's not just to be seen by members of your niche, because you might think everyone is my niche, or you might even narrow down your niche, but a lot of you need a niche upgrade where it's like, more likely than not, depending upon the content, how it's created, the messages you send directly and or indirectly, the keywords and or hashtags that you use to optimize this content, it needs to go in front of members of your niche that are in an upper tax bracket, because they have the disposable income to buy from you. Not everyone does. Not everyone does, and it's not just lower class or lower middle class. A lot of the middle class, period, have little to no expendable cash or disposable income for you. So maybe these are the people that scrape all the way until the end of the year holidays, like Christmas and Hanukkah and all that, Kwanzaa, and then they spend money. Well, that's great, but like, why should you just be living for the fourth quarter of the year, right? So whether your products, your services, or a bit of both, you need to be selling theoretically every day of the week, every week of the month, every business quarter of the month, and every season. So a lot of my students, they've learned, especially the ones that have come on board since 2019 through now, they've learned that their Q2s can either meet or beat their Q4s from last year, the fourth business quarter of last year. So can you imagine, with all of the COVID and the world recession or bad financial impact, and then the unrest, with all of that, I've got students who are selling better in the first, second, and third business quarters of the year than they even did for the holidays last year. What does that tell you? content marketing is really king, but you have to master all 5 rings to be the content king or queen. And you don't have to be the top of the heap. You can be a thought leader within a space and still have a 6-figure, multiple 6-figure business, or even a 7-figure business. When you look at Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, you go, wow, they really are. They certainly don't stink on social media, on practically any platform that they're on, right? We're a 7-figure business. Now, look, okay, on TikTok, we have over 150,000 followers. On our Facebook page, we have a ton of engagement and we're at almost 11,000 followers. But think about it. If you just looked at it from a Facebook page perspective, and there's a lot of wags out there that'll be like, oh, Facebook pages are dead. You're only going to get 2% reach no matter what you do. Lies. They're trying to sell you their course on ads, or they're trying to make you feel like you know nothing, or it's not the easiest pickings. If you're starting from scratch, it's not. But a lot of my students have simultaneously grown a Facebook page and a Facebook group. And if that's like the preferred platform of choice, their people trend older and or more professional, then you got to go where the attention is, or you're not going to sell at all or well. Luckily, a lot of folks that are on Facebook or on Instagram, we still have baby boomers and Gen X coming to Instagram in appreciable numbers. The platform continues to grow, just TikTok took it. TikTok kicked it off the top of the app downloads in the App Store a couple months ago now. So juggling is a lot, but definitely look at the Power Hour videos. I've got like 3 of those, different ways to use them, different ways to look at them, different ways to even find time for it. If you're a busy entrepreneur or parent, definitely. And then let's see. Oh, the dream team one. You gotta get more of a dream team, and it's not always for pay. These dream team members. Bridget says, by the way, we had so much luck in our trunk sale last night. No sales, but lots of views. And hubby is planning themes for working up to weekly sales. For me, it was like a date night since the moms were at home. Aw. I'm glad the moms are doing pretty decent too. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Thanks, Oh Funnel Fairy Godmother, says Daniela. You are welcome. My pleasure. Bridget Upcycle Lawson is hashtag live. Marissa Parsons. Good morning, Marissa. Hashtag live. Do you have any questions for me, Marissa? I'm going to take another sip. And while I do, make sure you put hashtag live, hashtag replay, smash that like button, subscribe and click that bell notification if you haven't. And for sure, let me know if you have a social media / content marketing question for me, because that's why I'm doing this. My apologies. I don't feel like sipping in front of everybody, but what do you do? Okay, let me go through the comments and make sure that I got everybody too. Okay, really, really quick. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. I appreciate it. Don't forget, Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm is on sale now. As this is live, it's a 96-hour sale total. It's a course that's going to help you learn about engagement marketing and relationship marketing done business-wise in a way that's assertive and not aggressive, both on the, on your end and on the other person's end, and how to do it in a way where you will get more conversions and you will be able to increase your social proof because you're building you're building a community around your brand presence on at least the top 2 platforms that are most important to your people. Optimum Graphics. Hi, sip all you want. We do it too. Thank you very much. Well, you guys do it, but I don't see it, So, y'all could be eating and drinking, and I don't blame you depending upon where you are at the time. It's around mealtime, or you might still be hungry, but I don't want to be rude, Marissa Parsons said, do you have any questions for me, Optimum Graphics, LLC? Marissa Parsons, working through the focus worksheets. Hope your knee is doing better. Thank you. It slowly is. I finally got approval for an MRI because I tore my meniscus on my right knee, which stinks. But they don't think it's surgery, but they want the MRI to see the damage and make sure they don't need surgery. So that's probably going to go down next week, because after I do this and after I jump in my Socialgram shortcut course group to coach them, because that's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drop that just in case someone's like, what's that all about? You can go see that there. But the Socialgram shortcut is an Instagram based deep dive course for adults who have a business, whether it's products based or not. But products based business owners have been getting a lot of aha moments about how to turn Instagram literally into a self-contained marketing funnel to get you all the business conversions that you need. And especially with Instagram Reels coming out, it tends to invigorate all the other sectors of your Instagram account. So if you were set up right, like I definitely have students who were like, I was getting much better conversions with Socialgram shortcut before Reels. And since Reels, it's like on steroids, the amount of engagement, the amount of, depending upon where your stuff goes, the amount of saves, the amount of shares, the amount of DMs, people asking questions, me closing sales in the DMs, of course, more followers. It's very exciting. People have been getting 100, 200, granted, one of my students is in India. She got like 500 new subscribers in a month. And she was just like, whoa. And I was getting 200 a month before that. No lie. And when Marissa's talking about focus worksheets, okay, so that's like a separate Funnel Fairy Godmother course. That's about focusing your attentions more on your niche. Some of y'all didn't even know what a niche was, or you think you did, but you thought you narrowed down your niche because you're selling to millennial moms. And you're like, well, I niched down enough. You did some niching or niching, for those that say niche, but the saying is the riches are in the niches. And I'm a native New Yorker, and that's how we say it. Sorry. But you say potato, I say potato. But the bottom line is, yes, a lot of people think that they are focusing on their niches when they go, oh, well, millennial mom who like has X amount of education and X amount of household income. And yes, that's still niching tighter. But a lot of people stop at like around there and they're like, well, I did all that work and I don't understand why I can't optimize better with my content, what's said in it or contained in it, the keywords and the hashtags. I don't get it. And it's like, if they take that course and they do the deep dive on appropriate, very fine grained niche building or niche building, they're like, oh my God, like I had 5 more steps to go and I didn't do it. So that's why it's going to be hard when you try to sell to everybody. Oh, everyone is my niche. As the saying goes in sales, you end up selling to nobody. The focus course explains why that's the case, because otherwise it just sounds smarmy and stupid. Like, whatever, I niche down. Like, I niche down 5 times. You still need to niche down 5 times more to be able to get traction both digitally and in real life. People really will pay for custom crafted products and or services. And they're willing to pay top dollar, not just because it's custom crafted, but because it's custom crafted for people exactly like them. It's solving a very nuanced problem that people like them have or experience differently than like the rest of the human population, right? And so when you show that you know that they need this solution to their problem or a satisfaction of a need or desire, and you show that it's custom crafted for people like them who are experiencing that problem or that need in a very nuanced way, when you communicate that, you automatically get more of their trust and respect, because we're all our favorite subject on planet Earth, right? So when you show that you understand them more, they dig you more, right? And then when you can then be able to explain how the custom craftedness of the product or the solution or the coaching package or the program or the book really fits in a very fine-grained way, their wants, needs, and desires, and their whole mindset, where they are now and where they need to go, they're going to pay the money all day long. You will close on the sale from them all day long. And you'll also have the perspective of what kind of hashtags and or keywords these people are searching on anyway. When you go too broad or vanilla, you're never going to be found, and no one's generally searching on broad and vanilla anymore. Because even if they're 40 and above, they're way more used to using social media just socially, and way more used to using Google and YouTube as search engines now. So, even if they're not as fine grained as, Gen Z or the digital natives are, they're still more of a savvy consumer. And so they're going to dial their searches by keyword and or hashtag to more custom crafted stuff that they want to binge, because that's exactly up their alley. So again, focus, that's what we were referring to there. Daniela Waterhawk says, our products are created with our secret process. What kind of videos can an original artist create that doesn't reveal the secret, but would be interesting? That is fair of a question. Oh, and let me acknowledge, and I'll answer it in a second. Let me acknowledge Optimum Graphics LLC says, not right now. I just got on here, so I'll definitely watch the replay. Yes, and please subscribe. There's a ton of videos on here, neatly organized into playlists by topic. It's all basically for entrepreneur parents, although entrepreneurs in general can be, using my stuff very successfully. And there's the focus, the lens through which all of this is shot is for the older entrepreneur parent who needs to have more effective content marketing, largely through social media and YouTube. So while it seems like, gosh, you cover like Instagram, you cover TikTok, you cover Instagram Reels and stuff like that, it is still the common thread between all of it is how you can content market effectively as an adult with a business, with products and or services to sell in a way that's not going to turn people off on the platform. And so that's the common thread. So it isn't anything and everything. The common thread is how to content market. And you really do need to be on the top two platforms. You put all your eggs in one basket. It's a little bit dangerous. So Daniela, how do you create content as an original artist that doesn't reveal the secret, but is interesting? At Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we have like a similar issue in that. I mean, we do sell a lot of the basic foods, but people still love to see how it's made. They love little tweaks or little techniques that we use. And gee, that's why your burger tastes better than, 5 other burger joints that are within 10 minutes of you. One's right across the street, for goodness sakes, and we destroy them. We slay all day. But there's some recipes that we have for, say, our scratch-made chili. And, I might show you in a video how the chili's made, but I might leave out some sections of it. It's not an exhaustive listing of the ingredients for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill's chili. You don't see every piece of the preparation puzzle because, then I would give it away. If I don't list it and I show all the ingredients, then they're going to know like the secret 2 things we put in our chili that lots of other people don't. And I mean it, they don't, because I've looked at, I don't even want to bore you with how many recipes to make sure that we're doing something at least different enough everything's all been done before, no matter what arena you want to look at. So don't let that get anybody, I'm not just saying to you, Daniela, but don't let that get you into analysis paralysis. That's no good. You'll never do anything because you're just too busy trying to innovate and do something that no one's ever done before. Or okay, maybe like 1 or 2 people on the planet. That's not cool. You can't do that. But we want to make sure that this is definitely more off the beaten path than not in terms of our chili recipes. So if I were to create a video about that, you would see a lot of the process, and I might name a lot of the ingredients, and maybe 1 or 2 of them that isn't completely ultimately proprietary, but different enough, right, to create a talking point and an interest point, Daniela. So but then I would definitely say, because this is a proprietary recipe, we're not going to give you all the ingredients. But if you were to order our chili, in real life, and you said you had allergies, you can tell us what you're allergic to, and then we would tell you whether or not the chili is suitable for you. So that's how that translates out for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. I know yours is art and not food, so think about it, like, what can you do where you can keep back one or two like pieces or like teeny tiny bits that's definitely proprietary, but you can still show them otherwise the rest of the, creation process. Because especially when it comes to artists, whether you're creating one of a kind things, whether you're creating like a more mass produced thing, whether you're doing things on commission, or whether you're just creating your art just for people to enjoy, and you're hoping you get like AdSense revenue on YouTube and whatever, it doesn't matter. People love to see how it's made. They love to see how it's made. Even if you're not a DIY channel, and I don't think any of y'all are, it doesn't matter. People who like binging on a particular topic or subject, there's never enough content for them. They're just voracious in their appetites. So it's not just the solutions. It's not just the satisfactions of needs. It's not just discussing their desires, the good ones, the bad ones, the ugly ones, and they may need help from your service packages if you're a service professional, or your products or whatever. What really they when they're done consuming all that, they need more. So then they look at everything from 6 different dimensions. So how it's made, even though you're not a DIY channel, maybe that's not your intent. It doesn't have to be. That's still a piece of content that once a week, no matter what platform or platforms you're discussing, I would much prefer to see you creating like a Maker Monday kind of content. So a lot of my students know where I'm going with this. So hold on just a second. L's Elations, good morning, #live. Janice Salitro, hey honey, been RVing for 2 months. Nice to see you. Oh, I know it's been a minute, Janice. Hey girl, hey. I hope you've been having fun. Let us know, how much do you RV every year for a period of time? Hold on, that's my mom, but I'll talk to her later, I promise. Everybody call your mothers, love your mothers. Especially if they deserve that love. Okay, so make sure Janice and everybody else who came on, Elle, can you guys hit the thumbs up button? That really does help this video out. It gives another data point for it to surface, right? Daniela says, thanks so much. An idea popped in my head. Yep, that's, sometimes I give an example as a parallel, and either the parallel helps you or it gets you you're turning the Rubik's Cube around and you're getting ooh, I just turn it this way and now I can use it. It's very portable. So cool. If you guys could give me the thumbs up, you can make sure you're subscribed. If you haven't, click that bell notification if you haven't. #live, #replay, please. Even that helps me out. And then certainly ask your questions down here. I'll be on for a little bit more. And then I need to rest my voice for a half an hour because then I'm going to go into the Socialgram Shortcut course, where we will be coaching for just Instagram specific stuff for the next hour. And y'all all know, for my Socialgrammers who are on here, y'all know what we're going to be talking about in there. Y'all do. Let's see. So yes, so Maker Monday is a good piece of content. I mean, it's up to you. It's your business, literally and figuratively. But here's some suggestions if you're like, well, I don't know what to create, Stacey. And if I'm not trying to be a coach, a course creator, or a guru, what can I do? But even those people, an influencer, what can I do? Even those people can use the advice that I'm giving to a lot of my students or product space, not all of them for sure. So Maker Monday is always a good one. Give them behind the scenes, even if you have to leave a piece or two out. Tip Tuesday is always a good one. Tips about how to use your products or products like your products. And you're like, well, I don't want to help my competitors. But still, it's sort of like that, what is it, Miracle on 34th Street, movie from years ago where, Santa Claus played Santa Claus in Macy's. And if Macy's didn't have the product, he would send them someplace else. And they were like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm being Santa Claus. Everyone loves Santa Claus, right? So even if you don't like believe in the reason for the season of Christmas, you might still like the secular version of Santa Claus. Who doesn't like him? So you want to become that thought leader in your space with Tip Tuesday. Then yeah, the tips really should star your products. No duh. The care and feeding of your products or products like your products, so that other enthusiasts who collect their gurus and their thought leaders, no one is slavishly devotional to one. Not nobody, not know how. That was so back in the 80s. We're not there anymore. So, like, you don't have to be Tony Robbins or even Tonita Robbins. You could be a thought leader in the space. And the longer you're at it and the more content you publish, and slowly but surely, the bigger the community is that you build, the better over time you're going to do, the more respect you're going to get. And then more likely than not, the more sales you're going to get, the more conversions you'll get faster and more efficiently. It's a human nature thing. But so Maker Monday is always good. Tip Tuesday is always a good one too. And you'll get a lot of rapport from people where, you know, your Tip Tuesday is definitely starring your products. But if you use language in there to say, or products like mine, people are like, oh, this isn't just a sell, sell, sell. They're coming from a place where they do want to help people like me. You know, even just theoretically help people like me. Now I love them more, right? And then they're more likely to subscribe or follow you, whatever the platform parlance may be. That's free. So when people like what you have to offer, typically they do that. They don't want to lose you as a resource. So that's Maker Monday and Tip Tuesday. And then like Wednesday, it depends on your niche, pitch, product, and sitch or situation. I like to think about it in terms of Win Wednesday. So you could be creating just like community-based content where you're like, who's had a win today, like it all, or whatever intersecting interests they had that brought them to you that has to do with the products and or services that you sell. You could be just talking shop with them and who like learned a thing today or did a thing today. Like if you sell saddles for like equestrians, like who rode today or who competed today, who just had a good ride, who had a good moment, you know, busting their latest bronco or horse, right? I'm not a total equestrian, but I have friends who do. And right now off in the distance, you're like, Stacey, don't talk about things you don't know. But you get the idea. Like, so a Win Wednesday could be just a community building thing where you're like, who had a win having to do with whatever topic they're following you for, or whatever kind of interest they'd have that would lead them to want products and or services like you. So even if you're jewelry or fashion, it's like, you know, who wore a piece today and got a compliment? You know, who's really rocking this current style and getting a win, right? Like, who's enjoying like a well-organized purse, right? Like who's cleaned out their purse? That's a win. Who's reorganized their purse? Like I could do this all day long. Just give me the topic, right? So like that could be Win Wednesday. In lieu of that, you could put out content that has to do with a satisfied customer testimonial. You could put out a case study about a successful client of yours. There's so many different ways that you could come at a Win Wednesday sort of piece of content. Thursday could be Throwback Thursday, depending again upon your niche, pitch, product, and sitch. You could be asking people to share their Throwback Thursday pictures with you, especially if it hooks into the niche that, the intersecting interest that brought them to you in the first place. You could also have it be like Tool Tuesday. So if you were a DIY channel, you could be like, here's one of the tools I like to use. Or if you're an artist, this is a feature on this type of tool that I use and why I use it and how it creates better quality. And ooh, you guys get to benefit from it. See, if I were a jeweler, I would talk about like Tool Tuesday if I'm making my own jewelry. And even just like the materials could double as a tool for Tool Thursday, right? You guys liking this? Definitely say, wow, I like it, or thank you, or I do that already. This is what I do. Like, I want to see that, right? I want to make sure that I'm not just like, you guys are like, whatever, Stacey, I already knew that. Although some of my students already knew that, but are you using the advice that I give you? Friday could definitely be like a fun Friday. It could be like a flip side Friday. You could stand a concept up on its head that's big within your industry or whatever. But it could be like Fun or Funny Friday. This is where your memes and your GIFs and like jokes, you could have quotes that are snarky and fun, right? Like Fun Friday is a great theme. A lot of W-2 workers or paid employees are like, thank God it's Friday. So they're in a good mood. Definitely like hook into that. Be a human like them, right? Like really enjoy stuff. Humor builds up a lot of rapport, and jokes and memes and stuff like that, they're happy to share that out. Saturday and Sunday could be like a soul Saturday or like or a soul Sunday, if your people are religious or spiritual, and like Sunday or Saturday means more to them, like, obviously go with the one that most of your people would like. So, and it could be like religious and or spiritual quotes. It could also be like just inspiration based. You could be like, Stacey, my people are nothing but atheists. This does not help me. Or they're nothing but agnostics. Fine, be difficult like that. So do a bunch of like inspirational quotes, just generic inspirational quotes, or not necessarily generic, but inspirational quotes that based upon your studies, your knowledge, and your finger on the pulse of your niche, that they would like this kind of thinker most. They like this kind of author or this kind of influencer most. So, a quote that's inspiring, uplifting, or at least positive, right? So you could do content like that throughout the weekend. Jenna said, first big trip to North Carolina, helping friends with land they just bought. I know, buying land's really starting to sound very attractive to me. Time to focus and do something to make money. Yes, girl. And I know that you know how to apply these courses. I know you do. Transformational Healing by Donna. Talking about the crystals you use in your amazing pieces and why you use them would be great for you, Daniela. Absolutely. And Donna knows. Donna knows. Daniela says, great idea, Donna. Great idea, Donna. Thought about laying out before, during, and after kind of thing, how the piece grew. I know. Even if you're not a DIY channel, you have people coming to you because, like, say you're Wicca, pagan, spiritual, that sort of thing. So even though it seems really weird to do a how it's made sort of thing, or a time lapse sort of piece of content, or any sort of discussion about the products, the materials, the procedures, anything like that, people still appreciate that. The more custom crafted and upscale your audience is, the more they want to see stuff like that, not the less. They're not just buying, and now I'm out of money, and they're coming from like a lack mentality. They invest their money. They're happy to invest their money. They're happy to invest their money in businesses like yours that are meant to serve people just like them. So they're super happy about that. So let's just be honest. They want to know all the nitty gritty. Where am I putting my money into? You've impressed me. Now I'm not just going to buy from you, but I'm going to buy from you more often. People watching this both live and on the replay, please put down in the comments below, is your business as you currently have it going, whether it's products, services, or both? Think about it. Is your business more consumable goods or more, collectible goods? And I'll give you guys a minute to do that as I take another sip. I'll be wrapping this up in a little bit, so make sure you get that questions in there if you're allowed. Transformational Healing by Donna. All awesome tips that I try to use or have adapted, and they work well. Thank you, my girl. Thank you, Miss Donna. I love me some Miss Donna. Daniela says, you have given me so much in your videos, emails, and this video alone. You're awesome. Thank you, Miss Daniela. And you're awesome, too, because you're investing your time watching this. And then you are going to take action if you're not already. So thank you for thinking enough of your business to invest your time. Your time is a non-renewable resource. It's definitely important to me. Transformational Healing by Donna. I know that it's both. Catherine Maldonado, collectible goods. Daniela Waterhawk, collectible and functional for many different niches. Ooh. Marissa Parsons, if focus is how to narrow your niche and divination is how to get to know that niche and where they are, where will charm fit into the lineup? Great, glad you asked. So charm is all about once you know your niche, because some of my students didn't need the help with that. So that's why I do like these smaller courses. So, and it's not a subscription service or anything. So if you're like, like I already have my niche, I don't need the focus course, fine. But if you're like, gee, I need to study them more so I can project out, not only product line collections and retirements. For some of my students, they're not a products-based business. You still need to study them to keep your finger on the pulse. So as they say they want things and they're not being given that, you know how to study them, fly on the wall, and or to get in there and mix with them. And you're like, oh, now I can create the products and or services and or courses, right? That there's a gap, or they don't like what's currently out there and they wish they had something else. Divination literally allows you to practically divine what they're thinking in a variety of different formats and ways. But you have to know who your niche is and really know who your niche is, right? In a very fine-grained way, because then you know how to apply and how to follow through on what I teach you in divination. Charm is like, okay, my content marketing's out there. I certainly know my niche. And I study them enough to be able to project out my sales and my sales-related messaging, whether it's products or services or both. I know how to put out the relationship marketing stuff. I know what they tend to like in terms of products, services, leaders, thoughts, trends. I know what they don't like or what's kind of over for them. So I'm not going to waste my time with that in products, services, names of services, things I focus on in the services. It definitely helps keep your finger on the pulse for your relationship marketing content too, and how to project and plan out all of that stuff. Charm is different because charm's like, once you know your niche and you're populating your platforms with all of your relationship and sales-based content marketing, and you're doing your lives or whatever, charm helps you with the relationship marketing and just going out there and building up a community, right? And keeping your followers and or subscribers engaged and happy, and one parasocial relationship at a time. You're building rapport with them human to human. You're not just being standoffish and let the content do all the work. Because, sometimes you luck out, but sometimes you don't. And you're like, well, Stacey, I'm doing everything that you tell me to do. But there might be like a ghost that's not in that machine. Like there's not quite a soul going on there. And your community is your soul. So you build up your community one member at a time. And you build up highly engaged people who become brand enthusiasts more and more over time. And then you get them interacting with them through things I teach you in the charm course. So it's not just one-on-one like networking with them and like business networking with them. It's creating the type of relationships, both one-on-one and then one-on group, you, the brand leader with your community, that translates into sales. You're going to enjoy the heck out of yourself with all these people. Sure. You better love what you do and who you do it for. This isn't going to feel right. And that might be part of the reason why you're not selling much or at all. You might be self-sabotaging because, you know what? I want to make money, but I don't like who I'm doing this for. Or I don't like what I'm doing. This isn't a right fit. That's an important thing to realize too. But charm's going to help you with your parasocial relationship, methods, your community building and maintenance methods, and how cast against the backdrop of all that and of all your content that's making your social media profiles like a treasure trove of goodies for your people, but how to get them over time through this parasocial relationship building and networking, one-on-one and one-on group, as that group gets more and more intermeshed, how to get more sales more often that way. That is a whole art and science unto itself. So hopefully that answered your question. Bridget, essential oils are consumable. Aromatherapy and then upcycled jewelry is collectible. Yes, and Catherine does like purses and wallets and stuff like that. Right, Catherine? Bridget says, just got charmed. We'll be spending the weekend binging on it. Thank you, girl. Yay. Okay. Does anyone have any last minute questions for me? Keep in mind, the plan is to do these at around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. And I may or may not have a video go on at the same day, or this might take the place of the video. But otherwise, the plan is to have a video come out a day on this channel. So, Catherine, yes, purses and wallets. So Catherine knows that she wants to appeal to an upper, tax bracket kind of person, because she doesn't just want to sell a purse once or twice a year. She wants to really go for purse fiends and aficionados, sure. And her stuff isn't consumable. You can't eat it. You can't burn it up like essential oils. If you did, it would look weird. You can't burn them up. Like, why would you do that? So it's not like essential oils or candles or scent cones or anything like that you could consume it. Consumable goods could be makeup, could be skincare, could be spa products and stuff like that, bath bombs and all that kind of stuff. Those can be consumable goods as well. Anything that to me, that doesn't fit the consumable good model is a collectible good. And for my services people out there, if you're an author, you could just write a bunch of short, books, and you could have a big major book that you've already put out or you're working on in the background. If you're a writer, you love to write. I mean, you just want to do that all day long, right? So you could have a collectible book of the month that you come out with that uses self-publish to Amazon for $2.99 to $9.99. It best be bigger if the price is going to be bigger. There's definitely a market for that. And you could sell a book every single month of the year. You could. Plus whatever big book you already have or books you already have. If you do your social media marketing correctly and you're driving everybody onto an email list, you can sell to them every single month. If you're a course creator, you could have your big course like I do. Socialgram Shortcut is my big course for Instagram marketing, like how to turn your Instagram business profile into a successfully working, high converting marketing and sales funnel, right? That's my big offering. And I might have a launch or a relaunch for it around once a business quarter. However, I have my small courses like the Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm course that we discussed just a minute ago. And Funnel Fairy Godmother has a new installment coming out every month. They're smaller courses. There's still a couple hours. There's good meat and potatoes in there. Even if you don't get it at the $37 price, you get it at the $97 price, right? It's still worth it all day long at $97. And then there's a Facebook group too. My goodness. But seriously, I sell courses every single month. Like you don't have to do it once a year or once a business quarter. And if you're an author, if you're a course creator, you could do, if you're like, well, Stacey, I'm a coach, any kind of coach, but I don't have a course yet, or I don't want to do courses, but I like coaching. You could have a different coaching group of the month, and you could have it every single month too, where it's consumable. When it's over, or we come back to it this time next year to address whatever's going on in this month for you guys personally, professionally, whatever. But I have a course of the month or a one-on group coaching package for the month. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure that someone's buying from you, ideally at least every single month. So with purses and wallets, and even if you did organizers for purses, Catherine, if you're not already, I apologize if you are, but you could definitely come out with like a purse of the month or an organizer piece to go with a purse of the month. And you could kind of make your stuff collectible in nature. Yes, purses also follow fashion. So if your niche is like high fashion, disposable kind of fashion stuff, if they're really high concept fashion, then you know what? It could lend itself even more easily to people buying from you every month or a lot, because man, they just need to be on the bleeding edge of fashion. But if that's not what you're doing, you could still get monthly sales by saying, hey, here's a purse and it's still here, but I came up with a new zipper pouch or a new organizer or a new, planner, cover to go to coordinate with the purse. Like you always want to be able to sell your people every month. And if you're like, who's going to do that? Who has all that money except for the royalty and the rich? Well, besides them, the upper middle class, which is why so many of my students were able to market and sell when it was practically friggin' Ragnarok for the last couple of months. And like I said earlier during this live, a lot of them had second business quarters of 2020 that met beat or threatened their last business quarter of the year. So if I can get people to market and sell successfully and have increasing followings on social media, increasing email lists, and increasing sales under these conditions, I can have you market and sell every single month all year long. Bridget, I collect purses. I'm totally a bag lady. And that, it's a play on words. But when I used to sell 31 gifts years ago, I was in the top 5% of the company. And, bag lady is a term of art for these folks. They love it. So anything really could be a collectible too. So if you're doing artwork, I want you to think that, okay, your stuff isn't necessarily consumable, but it still should be a collectible. There should be a theme for your artwork, a theme for your journal and planner covers, a theme for your bags, that doesn't just follow fashion, because my fear for you is you're thinking in terms of like 3-4 months or seasonally. And if you just get a sale a season, you'd have to have a high volume of customers and or a huge price point to be able to make the kind of money that I'd like to see you guys make. So thinking collectible, consumable, and going for starters, once a month a sale is not a bad thing to do. Whoop, whoop, Bridget, upcycle Lawson, I know, says Catherine. Bridget says, that's why I could never be a 31 rep. Oh, I know. See, I wasn't a bag lady. I know, boo hiss. I just jumped on the company when it wasn't brand new. It was around for several years. But I was like, a lot of people in my area had never heard of it. So I was like, oh. So I grew to a team of like 53 people, including myself. And our retention rates were great for the better part of 3 years. But then I was like, what am I doing? And I was making really good commissions and overrides. It's a great company, but I didn't leave it because I was having problems or people wouldn't stay on my team. I wanted to do what I'm doing now. And I'm like, I have to give up the good to go for the great. And that was a really tough decision because I was making around $25,000 a year doing it. Catherine, could you drop your social media info if it's allowed? Yeah, no, it's totally allowed. I don't put your handles. Those should go through, but I think only I or an admin is allowed to drop a link. But you guys are in student groups together. For goodness sakes, you should friend each other on Facebook and totally share the links through Messenger or in the group. I don't care. We're all family in there. All right. So I got to give my voice a rest for 20 minutes. So if you're a social grammer, of course, I'm coming into the Socialgram Shortcut group at 10, and we'll have an hour training, and you know what we're going to be discussing in there. So we're going to be talking about ruling the world, dominating Instagram even more. I'm very proud of so many of you. You're doing good. All right. So that's it. One more time. Don't forget about Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm. If you need help building a community, but not just that, building a lot of brand enthusiasts and being able to move people along the spectrum from browser follower to actual buyer, you're going to want Funnel Fairy Godmother Charm. That's what it focuses on, so that you are engagement marketing in a way that is tasteful and assertive and not aggressive. All righty. Music Chick Art. Thank you. See you next Friday. You are welcome. Make sure that you go to the link that I put down below. The sale's only good for 96 hours, and it's less than that now. Otherwise, it goes up to $97, and there are no plans to put it on sale again. It'll be for sale on a website, but not for sale at like a price less than $97. Daniela Watermark, thanks again. See you next Friday. See you guys later.